So what you see on screen is the only, well, two lines of code. If I could do it in one line, that would have been great. I probably could, but basically that's all you need to know that I added because we're working with another character. And just to have at least nothing else show, also I should do a thing here. So we're playing with another custom character, and I took it from directly. So, but other than those two lines of code, again, if something crashes, that's why I have a second character as a backup. But the other side of that is just showing you how to add some. If I wanted to add something to a character, I could, basically. That's all I'm trying to do. We'll do Ath, but then we'll set it to a random backstory. If we get Eldritch Parasite, Sadness, but thankfully we get Knight Errant, which is still actually hard as well. But if nothing else, hey, look, we can use this weapon as well. Again, you can give custom characters any item that exists, even if it is perm plugin, because unless you do something in the Ito file, also Knowledge, Light, Strength, Second mystery, Takshisan, and then second encounter. We'll do two custom mysteries, but we have to include battlefields, and the only other thing to say is that there's probably no end screen at the end of this video because I just want to go fast. But otherwise, yeah, just gonna have to play, I'm just gonna play through a character and kind of chill, even though there is one more thing to note as we get Bulletin, Mermaids, Painting, Battlefields, and Arcade, but that'll happen when I get into Battlefield. So into Bulletin we go, and off we go. So the other side of this is that I'm basically just going to be throwing up this video raw. That's why there's no end screen, because behind the scenes talk, it takes me about 30 minutes to an hour to render my recordings. So what ends up happening is that I record, and sometimes I add, usually, my videos, I only really add the end screen. If I do any editing, it's not like I'm doing anything spectacular. Sometimes it's bunny with dialogue, sometimes it's something else, maybe it's a sudden cut when something happens during my recording. The game froze for a moment there. But otherwise, nothing too spectacular. And in fact, any edits I make, which are usually no more than like half a dozen edits in a single record, or for a single video with my recording or recordings, in the case I need to make a cut, it's not so intrusive to the rendering process. Like, for those who don't know, basically the video editing and upload process, we're in the video editing. Rendering is basically turning your recording into the video that gets uploaded to wherever you decide to put it. In my case, YouTube on this platform. And if you're not watching this on YouTube, you get the point, I think. Yeah, it's rendering is basically throwing your video together and publishing it, or not publishing it, basically preparing it up with all the edits you make, whether I put bunny on screen with dialogue, whether I make a cut, whether I do other things like make transitions between recordings if I'm doing like a shorter video that's more focused. You get the point at this point, I think. So yeah, I need to visit the forest, by the way. But that's the rendering process. And so whatever program you use, you render your video and it becomes something that you then upload. So if nothing else, another simple way to say it is that you make a recording, you put it into a program, and then that program puts out another video. What we call the process of making the video through the there's no correct term, but basically making the second video is called rendering after editing it. So shrug. Also, this is a ghost encounter, and because we have a very, very powerful weapon, so a little short thing, if you do make a custom weapon, one thing to note, for at least for gameplay and or balancing sake, is that watch the base damage of your weapon, because that directly contributes to the sever damage for a ghost. Yeah, that's all I have to say. We have 5 inventory slots. Why do we have that? Anyway, moving on. We'll do Expel Evil, because the Doom is always nice, but otherwise, Corpse Dust as well, because luck doesn't matter. Thankfully, well, I say luck doesn't matter. If we're talking more positively, it's actually quite good that that luck hitting 0 or going negative does not lose you a run, basically, as opposed to the other stats. If you didn't know and you're watching this and you're newer to World of War, yeah, when your stats hit 0, Doom gets set to 100, which essentially is I think it's at least plus 100. I forgot what exactly happens. Basically, you're supposed to lose. So, yeah. Also, we have Knight Errant. Thankfully, I think... Oh, that is ending A. I'm going crazy. Mermaids. I should actually be thinking here, but I think it'll be okay. Would I rather fight ending A of Painting or try to do Arcade? I don't remember if... I'm pretty sure Arcade has multiple endings, and if it does... I need to think about which and because I don't remember which ending is ending A, I think. Well, you know what? Let's just take it now so we can option select later. I know Battlefields is waiting for me, but that's a relatively easier encounter than I think Arcade and... Arcade... Well, yeah, and... Blah, 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 blah. Painting, funny enough. No, yeah, painting is reasonably hard. So we need to police patrol the forest now, because when we enter painting, we're going to be doing some forest investigations for sure, as opposed to Battlefields, which I know has one, Thingamajiggy has one downtown investigation, but aside from that, it's outside of downtown after that. The other side of that is that this weapon is very, very powerful in... now, I thought this character had less strength. She actually has 6, so that's actually quite high, which means I'm still allowed to... I mean, even just doing prep attack is good. So the whole balance between this weapon and the character that it was meant for is that the character starts with stacks of Blood Frenzy, which is supposed to push you towards dealing or defeating an enemy with as few turns as possible, preferably 1 turn, but 2 turns at max. And so as we unplug this machine, and we don't actually have anything to throw, we still 2-shot this boss, which would actually be a bit harder than it looks here, because, yeah, we deal 13 damage per turn. And if nothing else, resetting back, again, this will be new for those who are newer to World of War. I always like to reiterate that really quickly, just so that even though you're a veteran... yeah, it's just as likely that newer players are watching this video, at least the time this video's, at the time this video comes out. So I think that, yeah, that was ending A. And I forgot what I was going to say. Gosh dang it, I go on too many tangents. It's because, again, a common thing I like to do is not being misunderstood. Okay, what I was going to say, let me just say it before I forget, is that if you do 8 damage in World of Horror per turn, per attack, no matter how much damage you're taking, which is relevant, but just to simplify it, if you can do 8 damage a turn, or 9, that's okay, a little above mediocre in terms of damage output, but as you can see with encounters that have more than 24 HP, there aren't a lot, but there are a handful of them at least. You end up taking this amount of damage. Now, this is fine for the moment, but if I didn't do... yeah, that's why doing 13 damage in 1 turn, or 14 in this case, because we have bonus damage, is quite a lot, which also factors into my little... Again, if I were giving advice, you know, trying to advise players in World of War specifically, it's that 1 point of stamina, 1 point of reason, 1 point of doom can mean a lot. I should have used my light source. Oh, actually, we don't need the fuel, never mind. Or the empty chainsaw, sorry. So yeah, that's all I'm trying to say. Ooh, cigarettes. But... or chance to use cigarettes, but I like using Hard Knock for that reason. But, yeah, you get the point. If you can do 8 damage per turn at least, then that's okay, but you really want to do, like, 10 damage. Or, on the other side of things, because this is why Aiko's so powerful, your actions become faster, you deal more damage, whether it's bonus damage, which allows you to do, like, 10 damage per turn, and so therefore in 2 turns you're doing 20 damage, instead of in 2 turns you're doing, 16. And in fact, I should have popped the Inspiring Novel, which wasn't going to help me in those past 2 encounters, but it will help me for this boss, I'm pretty sure, because I think this boss is pretty fat HP value-wise. So let's find out. But yeah, otherwise, again, the whole design of this weapon, to reiterate once more, as I actually took too much stamina damage there, was that... do we actually survive this? 50-50. If we hit this enemy dies. If not, this will be a short video. But I guess if we are going to end the video, let's end it on this thought. So yeah, this mysterious axe weapon is meant for a character that is usually supposed to end up taking more damage, and it's not even the most powerful thing, because even giving a stat that giving 90 stat to a character, unless you're doing 90 in all stats or something like that, you can still certainly lose in a World of Horror, just because, well, the RNG of events, rather than the choices and stat checks, can end up losing you runs. Shrug. Again, barring putting 90 in every stat, giving yourself 999 funds, so on and so forth. But anywho, Justin, do I want to throw this? Yeah, let's throw this. Do I want to throw this, actually? I have memory extract, so you know what? Just to be safe, I'm going to option select here. Never mind. Okay, we did hit it. I was still going to use some reason anyway, because we're probably going to have some experience left over at the end of the run, but hey. But yeah, not really much else to say on that front. is meant for each character, but for anyone else, you're perfectly fine just working with you doing prep attack with this weapon because it deals so much base damage, which is something that I probably should think about too moving forward, but it's fine. Also, we're just gonna head forward here because I am trying to release this within the day that at least this platform assumes a day. I mean, just for no other reason than I like to at least release a video once per day. There are some times where I can't make it because I just couldn't, but this time I just happened to snake away from my thing. That sounds negative, but you get the point. I got some time. Nice 12 roll, by the way, game. Try to pass that by me, eh? But as we take for Doom, yeah, again, as you can see here, 2 turning enemies is usually okay. There are some instances where it's not. Usually in very boss-heavy runs, it's the case, but in cases where you're fighting enemies, but they're all not doing like 3 damage or 2 all every single time, you can usually just end up slugging blows with, even though we're taking 5 Doom here, because we're only taking 2 turns to defeat an enemy, and we only get hit once is another way to say that, then everything is perfectly fine. I'm just gonna mash through this, by the way. So again, if we do bonus damage here, we 2-shot. Otherwise, losing 2 stamina is not the worst thing. The other side of that is that we can just do this. We don't get any A, but we should be able to survive the Knight Errant penalty. Are we gonna survive Knight Errant penalty? I gotta think about monumenting now. Yeah, I think we're gonna monument. Also, I was supposed to use this order ticket. And you can use the order ticket however many times as you want. I have not made the order ticket a public item yet because doing so would also require the can of Eldsoft. Also, pain, but we don't have to visit downtown anymore. Although we're not visiting the forest either anyway, but it's fine. And what was I gonna say? I have Amy with me because I did ending A. That's kind of funny. But aside from what we just saw, I just realized that I had the second encounter and the second mystery check and Takshisan, so we actually need to use the monument as many times as possible. I wanted another pack of cigarettes, but this will have to do. Yeah, that should do, because even if we get Knight Errant, we'll have 73-ish% Doom right now, and at the end of this mystery, we might have around 84-85% Doom, preferably lower than that. Again, this is just me ballparking, but it's fine. Should have actually drank or used the pack of cigarettes, but it's fine. Unless we get Prep Strong out of it, and I wanted to kind of save cigarettes because I think Takshisan is later in the lighthouse, it's not going to be worth using the cigarettes now. Yeah, and then we also have Doomed already, so funny enough, rolling 12s now is actually a bit beneficial, especially for failures where there are no penalties, thankfully. I'm not saying every event should have that, that's completely insane and would be unbalanced towards the player side, but the other side of that, as we're actually visiting the downtown area quite a lot, is that you do want some events to not do anything upon failure, but the other side of that, that coin is that, as we take burns here, on average, you should be losing something for failing a check. Failing a stat check. I just saw that I have 86% Doom, but as long as we one-shot Takshisan, pretty much, I did not fill the bottle, by the way, we should be okay. That's all I'm trying to say. So, yeah, we do have all 3 Doom checks. I'll call them Doom checks. I think I've called them that before, but the Doom checks are second mystery, second encounter, and Takshisan. And technically, well, yes, literally, actually. Oh, I just took that in the face for some reason. But Takshisan isn't a Doom check if you just one-shot him, which is what I'm going to do in a hot moment, because I think I did arcade. Okay, so we're good no matter what. Unless Takshisan hits a blow on me, but I think we should be okay. So we do this into handcuff tech, and away we go. If we didn't have handcuff tech, again, this is all human error at this point. Even handcuff tech is human error. I'm just going to say Glitch Magician, no, but theoretically you should never get that wrong. But otherwise, not really much else to say. No end screen, so we'll put the end screen here. If you have anything to say, I did not take Battlefields, by the way. I'm going absolutely crazy. I said I was going to take Battlefields, I did not. Yeah, well, I guess this will just be a smaller perm video. It's supposed to be a bit larger because I was supposed to show you Battlefields, but you know what? I did what I did. So without further ado, I guess we'll save it for the next episode. This will probably be a 0.5 episode and not really much else to say. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!